What's up, YouTube fans? Today, we're going to take a look at the MMC Ocular Max Volatus, their version of a G1 Blastoff. So this set did come out, I think it was maybe 2 months ago or so. We did see Pig did a review on this, but I haven't had a chance to look at it, so wanted to do a full review. I was going to do a comparison with the Unique Toys, but it's just not, there's no comparison there, so I will show that off during this review, but I'm not going to do a full versus because it's not even worth comparison. But here is the figure. It looks really cool. Let's put the G1 cartoon image over there, and we'll take a quick 360. You can see the colors. They look really dark on camera. This is kind of like a navy, very, very dark navy blue, purple, and then a brown here. And then this is a darker brown here. It looks more like black on camera, but it's more brownish in person. It's a really good looking bot all around. I do like it a lot. It does have a pretty nice head sculpt. Let's get in on that head sculpt there so you can take a look. So there's the head sculpt. Nice blue, painted blue with the navy and then the brown. You do have an alternate head here. You can use this head instead. I don't really understand the reference. Don't really like the head, but you can change it out, so we'll change this out. So there is with the alternate head, and it kind of ends up looking weird because the eyes are black on this one, so it just sort of looks like he's got a mono eye, and I don't really like that. But you have that option. The only other accessory you get in the box is the gun, and the gun just has a handle that all of them have been the same. They have the same little peg there, and you can get that in the hand, and it's very nice and secure. And it's a good looking gun. It's the same brown color on the back here. It matches this. So pretty good looking guy. I like overall the aesthetic and the look of him. By the way, I haven't been showing the cards, but they all come with a collector's card here. Nice artwork there, and then you get the tech specs on the back. All pretty nice. Let's go over his articulation. So the head is on a ball joint, so you get side to side, forward, down to there, up to there, and then rotates all the way around. You get the shoulder on a joint that goes up to there, rotation all the way around, rotation at the bicep. You get a single jointed elbow, gets you more than 90 degrees, pretty far. Almost feels like oh, I'm sorry, no, it is double jointed. There's one here, so let's see how far I can get it. So, sorry, that is double jointed, and you can get that pretty darn far. Rotation at the wrist. You do have single individually articulated fingers, but only one pin, so you can't get the pointing finger, you get the curled finger. And then the thumb is on a ball joint. Continuing downwards, you do have a waist rotation. Everything's really nice and tight, by the way, on this guy. You have an ab crunch that gets you all the way down to there. Pretty nice. And so you can get him in some cool poses with that. You have hip skirts all the way around. And this is the same hip hardware that we had for Impetus, their version of Vortex. I never really liked it, but you're supposed to have it all the way out like this. But I don't know, it's just a kind of a weird joint because when you fold it in, it ends up doing that. So, well, you can get it up to there on a ratchet joint, all the way up. If you fold this out of the way, you can get it all the way back to there on a ratchet, and then out to the side on a friction joint out to there. Continuing down, you get a rotation at the thigh. You get it's a double jointed knee, but you really only get 90 degrees because there's a whole lot of stuff back there, but it's fine. And then on the toes, you don't get a toe tilt or a toe pivot, but you do get ankle tilt, or I guess, I don't know what you call it, knee tilt. You had to break it, not break it, but like break the connection right there. It doesn't feel so great, honestly, but once you do that, you get that. And you kind of have to do that for certain poses. If you're going to have them really out wide, you need that articulation. I don't really like it because it breaks the sculpt. Show you that in just a minute, because you kind of have to do that if you want him further out than an A stance. Same on this side. We can break that ankle off and then And then he can do that. Problem is, it just looks kind of weird, right? But you do have that articulation, so I'll give that to them as an ankle tilt. And nothing else down here. There's no forward and backward, anything like that. Everything's solid down there. And here he is with the Unique Toys version, Brood Lord Lash Layer. He's always had the weirdest name, but I mean, just night and day with this. I mean, this is such a weird looking robot. They chose to, you know, leave part of his nose of the shuttle on his arms, and that kind of looks weird. His legs look kind of weird. You got the, you know, landing gear hanging out there. I mean, just kind of weird. And then his feet are reversible, so you can have that, you know, cartoon look if you want it. You can flip this around, and then you can have this like this. So if you want that kind of foot, kind of like this, you can do that. I just think it looks weird. And it's less stable with that. It is a little more stable with the other foot. It is meant to go with this foot. There you go. The hands do kind of just pop out here, but all in all, everything considered, he just looks a little strange. He's got a lot of kibble, and here's the backs. You know, he's got a whole ton of kibble on him. And there is some nice paint details here and there, little black details, but overall, I just think they're not the best compared to MMC. Just for another comparison, here he's with the Masterpiece Megatron and then the MMC's version of Brawl. I really like the size here. I just think it looks good. It's a good set. The variation in size looks good, but he also looks good next to Megatron. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. And it is a kind of a fun transformation. I thought, at least for me, I felt pretty fun and, you know, enjoyable. All right, so let's start on the top here. So go ahead and we can fold these up. Those out of the way. And you can also fold these up out of the way, out of his backpack there. This will probably come out, but you can put that together for the little tail fin there. Then we're going to take out his entire chest piece, so that's just tabbed in right there. Let's go ahead and lift that up. And that is going to all peg in here, so open up his back plate here. The head's going to go in there. And we are going to open up this panel here, rotate this, close that back down. There we go. And then go ahead and close that up, and you're starting to see the front of the shuttle. And we might as well finish off the rest. So go ahead and take the arms, and we're going to fold that down, rotate this around. I think it doesn't matter which way the hand is. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it matters. You can have the hand either folded this way or folded the other way. All right, and then rotate it so that this is on the other side, and then rotate the whole thing so that you have this panel lined up like this. And obviously you can see that's going to be the front of the shuttle. Fold it down inwards, and then we're going to take this whole piece and fold that up, and then fold this up. That's going to make one side of the shuttle. Since it's not exactly the same because it's got that little piece there, I'm going to do both ends. Usually I skip that, but fold that in, turn this to the other end, close that up, turn this the other way, and then turn the whole arm, and that's going to allow you to clap that together. And then rotate here, and then you can push this back up just like the other side and get it all pegged in and push together the nose cone, and you should have a nice clean nose cone. Right. Leave these parts here for now because we'll take care of that in a little bit. I'll go ahead and open this up, both sides, and just leave that like that. We can actually fix this now. So open up these panels. You can collapse these hips down. Actually, don't do that just yet. Open these up. Open up the legs, and that'll give us a little space to work. So go ahead and pull these panels out and rotate them around. You can unpeg this from here, rotate that up, and then we can work on this inner part here. Go ahead and pull this down. You'll see there's a booster in there. Pull that all the way out, and then you can push that back down, just like that. All right. For this part, you're going to lift up, and then there's a little slot right there. So you're going to peg this into that slot. Go ahead and just push that in. There you go. That's one side done. I can do the other side. And now we can take care of this piece here. So go ahead and open this up. Open up that panel that we did before for the ankle tilt. And fold down this panel here. And that's going to reveal the wheel and this panel that you've got to rotate out. So rotate that panel out and forward. And then you can close this up again. And then you can return that back in and peg it back in. And push that panel down. Same on this side. Go ahead, break his ankle. That'll allow you to open this up, pull the wheel out, pull out the whole panel, close this back down, and then peg his ankle back in. Right now we can kind of get him pushed together. If he hasn't already, just make sure these hips collapse down. And now we can push all of this together. Just make sure you have those panels up. Everything should be kind of self-explanatory, but you do need to put things into place. All right, so now we can close these panels down on both sides, and then close these because there's a tab there. This is going to fit into that tab, and it should tab in. Same on this side. Make sure that tabs in. And then we can take care of these tabs here. So go ahead and push that down. And that's going to tab in. Feels like a puzzle piece, actually. It's interesting. Same on this side. Put the puzzle piece in. Oh, our legs came apart here. All right, there we go. And then you can fold these in, but we may fold those out again later for the landing gear. All right, and we're in the home stretch here, so go ahead and make sure you have these little panels open. So close, without closing those panels, close these outer panels, and they're tight. So you just got to push, and they've got to meet up. So you can't, they got to meet up right at the middle. So make sure you have that done correctly. Then you can close these, and these are going to tab in right there. Same on this side. Close this up, tab it in. Down here, you're going to pull out these little panels that are underneath. And if you can't get it out, just grab a spudger and you can push that down. And that's just going to cover up that little gap there. You can see there's a little gap there if you don't have that. Right? And final finishing touch, you're going to take this, rotate it around, and it's going to peg in right here and then right here. That same puzzle piece tab. And if you know, I like that those are very secure. They just feel very solid. So peg it in both places, and you should give it a nice squeeze. Everything should squeeze together. Oh, make sure you squeeze these wings together as well. And here we have Volatus in his shuttle mode. And this shuttle mode is beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's not all painted. There is some paint on it. So all of this purple is paint. All of these windshield is paint. I believe, it's hard for me to tell, but I believe this blue is also painted. The brown, I think that's the natural color of the plastic. And I believe this purple here is painted. So that's quite a bit of paint on this guy. I mean, and then here you've got, maybe that's matte blue plastic here, the wings. And then you got some brown paint back here. I mean, so it's got some paint on it. It feels really solid. The plastic quality is really, you know, pretty solid. I forgot to show you the landing gear. You just fold them out like that. And then this one was sitting in there. You just push there and it folds. It's nice and tight. And it does roll. Again, once again, very smoothly. just like all the others. Right, here we have some figures for comparison. So his teammate here, Swindle or Fraudo, and then X-Transbot's version of Dead End. And pretty good looking shuttle. I mean, it's not going to scale, obviously. Shuttles are gigantic. But for me, it seems good enough. I like the way it looks. I like how it fits in with the rest of the collection. I definitely like how it looks with the rest of his teammates there. So there you have a comparison with the Unique Toys version of Blastoff. They call him Broodlord Lashlayer. I don't know why they have such a weird name, but here's the bottom. Pretty clean. These landing gear are pretty darn awful. They tend to fall as you're rolling it, and I don't know. They're designed very strangely. And this one is on an angle, so sometimes it ends up going that way. But without that, you can kind of look at it. It's more of like a fat and wide, whereas this one looks kind of more like a shuttle, like an actual shuttle. It feels a lot more solid. The plastic on all of these Unique Toys were kind of soft, so things don't feel as good. It looks okay, and it was pretty good at the time, but now that we've got this, it kind of feels like this is just outdated. The final mode is the Combiner mode. Again, this fairly fun and intuitive transformation. So we're going to get him into his Combiner mode. We can first get this folded down. We're going to undo some of the panels that we did before. You probably really want a spudger on this one. It just makes everything easier, makes your whole life easier to get in there and do things. Once you get one open, the other one's kind of easy. Right. Now that we've got that open, we can undo this. So go ahead and pull this up and away from here, and then unpeg from the side. And now we're going to fold this all the way to the front and peg that in there. Same here. Unpeg from here, unpeg from the side, fold, and peg in. Right? Now we can take care of the what's going to end up being the hand. But basically unpeg these side panels from here, and then that's going to allow us to take apart these legs. You can take this apart so you can get into here, but you don't have to. But it does make it a little bit easier to get in and work on this. So I would recommend you take off these panels, open this up, and that's going to give you more space to work, because we're gonna put all that back anyway. All right, so you can see there's the hands on the inside. So go ahead and open up that panel there. Open up that panel there, and now we're going to and push this up as far as it'll go. I'm going to unpeg the hand from here, and that's going to rotate to the outside. Take this and open that up flat, and that's going to fit back into here. That, and you can open up this little panel here. That's just a cover to cover down here, so you have a complete hand. Right. And now that you have this in here, you can push the rocket boosters in, so it goes all the way in like that. And then you can close this down. Oh, don't close that on yet. Push this up, and then you can... and make sure you have this pushed all the way in, otherwise it's not going to close down. But unpeg this wing, fold that up, and that's going to fit right on top of here. And it's actually going to cover up this whole inside of the hand. And then take this, and I didn't get that right, so go ahead and push the hand inwards, and then it should tab in right there. So you have that nice smooth look to it. All right, pretty much the same exact thing on this side, so I'm just going to get that done off camera. Next step is we're going to break his ankles again, and go ahead and open up this panel, fold this down, fold this in, fold this over, and put this back. And it might be a little bit tricky to put this back. It should. Oh, and then make sure you put this little tab panel back in, and that'll allow you to peg this in a little bit easier. Fold that up. This might have come out here, so go ahead and push that in, and that's it for that side. Same thing on this side. Right now we have this ready to push together. And you can combine the hand together, and it should all just peg together. You really want to push everything together so it should look like that. Take these panels and flip them around, and they should peg in right there on the top. Like so. And same on this side. And we're starting to look like a hand here. And then last kind of step here is to rotate the hand. And then rotate the arm at this joint here. And then close these back up. And then close these back up. And then make sure you have these panels folded in. And close this back down, and it turns out nice and flat. And then kind of last step here is to open up this, and it does sort of lock into place there. It's pretty solid. And here we have him all transformed up into his arm mode. I guess we forgot to put this landing gear back in. But there you have the tab that goes into the Onslaught. This is actually the replacement joint we got with the Probus figure, because this is a little bit heavier than Impetus, but it looks really good. You get some pretty good articulation. So it does rotate on this joint, but that's really articulation on the Onslaught figure. You get, a reverse bend at the elbow, then you get a double jointed elbow. If you open up these panels here, you just unpeg those, you can get a little bit more. You can get them all the way up to there, which is nice. But you got to move those out of the way. You do get a rotation at the bicep. It does rotate all the way around. You have a rotation at the wrist. It goes up to there and up to there. It doesn't rotate all the way because of the way it's transformed. It's impressive that it has even that much. And then you get fully articulated fingers on 1, 2, 3 joints for each finger, and then the thumb pops out of that little hole there. And you have 1, 2, 3, and it's on a ball joint there. And you get a lot of movement with this hand. It's very well articulated and looks good. I didn't really show how you take this out, but this whole finger comes out of the little slot there. And you just store it back in there when you're transforming it back. So final thoughts on this figure. I really like it. I think they did a great job. It looks good. It's fun. It's very intuitive to transform all the modes. There are some little things here and there that bother me, like, especially there's a lot of little panel things like this where you can see the pins. Especially in the robot mode, there's kind of pins all over. And that's a little bit unsightly. And there's a lot of little panels and stuff like that. But overall, it's pretty good looking. I definitely think it's better looking than this thing. But there are some little things. The other thing I want to mention is you do have to unpeg these panels in order to get the ankle tilt. This ankle tilt is kind of locked unless you take out those panels. So I kind of feel like it's almost a cheat in terms of ankle tilt. And he really doesn't have one. It's more like a bottom of the leg tilt than anything else. So I guess, it's hard to count that as a real ankle tilt. But he moves. He looks really good. He's fun. And I just think it's a good set overall. It looks good with the rest of the set. So I definitely recommend him. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.